Okay, welcome everyone. My name's Eloisa Ramos, and we're here to continue the study of the text of A Course in Miracles. And I'm joined by my daughter, Sonia. Hi, Sonia. And my friend, Connie. Hi, Connie. So we left off chapter 16, Forgiveness of Illusions. And we are starting section 6, which is the bridge to the real world. Okay, so we're almost finished with chapter 16. Here's the bridge to the real world. Okay, paragraph 1. Let me just move these over because they're blocking my view here. Okay, paragraph 1. The search for the special relationship is the sign that you equate yourself with the ego and not with God. For the special relationship has value only to the ego. To the ego, unless a relationship has special value, it has no meaning. For it perceives all love as special. Yet this cannot be natural, for it is unlike the relationship of God and his Son, and all relationships that are unlike this one must be unnatural. For God created love as he would have it be, and gave it as it is. Love has no meaning except as its creator defined it by his will. It is impossible to define it otherwise and understand it. Okay. Okay, so we're continuing with the special relationship here. And I think it's pretty clear here that when we are looking for a special relationship, we're not recognizing the truth of how we are created, which is whole and complete. So God creates wholeness because God is whole and complete, and we are children of God, and therefore we are like in nature, in that nature of wholeness and completion. And therefore, to search for a special relationship is to believe that we are not as God created us, and we are then equating ourselves with the ego. That is a belief in separation from God. Okay. And so we would also believe that we have changed the way that God created us. And so what it's saying here now is that the special relationship, when we value the special relationship, we're identified with our ego because believing in it or valuing it is coming from the self that's identified from the ego. So that the true self does not value a special relationship because it recognizes the truth of the meaning of love, which is as God, defined it by his will, line 6, capital H and capital W, his will. So, yeah, and it is impossible to define it otherwise. So if we try to make love into a special relationship, okay, it's going to not be understandable, which means that it's going to be confusing. We're going to have difficulty, and we're not going to be able to find meaning, real meaning in it. So we're not going to be able to find true, true satisfaction and peace, and what we're looking for, which is, the sense of being whole and complete, which can only come from the meaning of the love of God, which is whole and complete. Okay. Okay, any questions? No? Okay, paragraph 2.
Love is freedom. To look for it by placing yourself in bondage is to separate yourself from it. For the love of God no longer seek for union in separation, nor for freedom in bondage. As you release, so will you be released. Forget this not, or love will be unable to find you and comfort you.
Okay. Okay, so so love is not, the love of God is not tied to the body, okay? Because the body is a dream. It's impermanence, it's not eternal. And God is eternal love. And that love is freedom. So, we talk about free will. So that's love. God gave us free will. God gave us freedom to decide. As a decision maker, and to believe that we are a body, okay, and that we can unite with a body is to place ourselves in bondage. Um, because what we're saying is that um, we are separate from eternal love, and that we can be joined with another body that is separate and individual. And so we cannot be joined because we still maintain our individuality in the special relationship as a body. So there's no way to really unite a body and a body. That would literally be annihilation of the self as the body that we've defined to be separate and individual, because then we wouldn't be separate and individual. So where did the self go? If we're one with our partner, we've just basically undone the whole concept. So we're gone. We're not even there. So it's that, to look for it by placing yourself in bondage is to separate yourself from it, from the love of God. So no longer seek for union in separation, nor for freedom in bondage. So the reason why the bondage is there is because the identification with the body implies that the belief in separation is real, that the ego is real. And that means that guilt, that we are guilty for having accomplished that. And the guilt is what really binds together that special relationship, um, uh, because we're playing out the belief of being two separate selves. So as you release, you will be released. So as we, let's see, stop desiring to make someone else, let's see, uh, the idea of need comes into there. So as we stop believing that we need someone else to complete us as a separate self, ego body, then we are released, and therefore we are free and can offer that freedom to everyone in our lives. Otherwise, we're always trying to get and grab and take because we're so needy that we imprison others. We make relationships an obligation. I mean, that's sort of the whole basis for marriage. It's a contract and we're obligated to each other. We both agreed, yes, we're going to do this, 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 and this until, death do us part. And so it becomes a contract. You got to keep your end, and I'm going to keep my end. And then if we don't, well, there's going to be problems. So, um, yeah. So we're not going to find comfort in that kind of arrangement. That's why five says, forget this not. Okay, as you release, so will you be released. Forget this not, or love will be unable to find you and comfort you. Okay, and that's really what we're looking for in in time, is we're looking for comfort because it's so uncomfortable to be a body. There's always something that's, what's a word? Um, Showing up that's like, oh, that doesn't feel good. Oh, oh, I don't like that. Oh, that's the temperature is not right. There's always something that we're not happy with when we're a body. So, okay, number 3.
Plan in which the Holy Spirit asks your help if you would have his. The holy instant is his most helpful aid in protecting you from the attraction of guilt, the real lure in the special relationship. You do not recognize that this is its real appeal, for the ego has taught you that freedom lies in it. Yet the closer you look at the special relationship, the more apparent it becomes that it must foster guilt and therefore must imprison.
Okay, what comes up for you, Sonia?
Um, but I'm just kind of focusing on the line that says the real lure in the special relationship is the attraction of guilt. Um, so I was trying to, because I, I actually had a question. I don't know if it's like kind of relevant, but like the search for the special relationship, like if it's saying here that it's really just the attraction of guilt, um, because well, basically I've rejected everything, um, and then projected it out onto someone else as a separate. Um, would that be where the guilt is coming from? I mean, because I'm also wondering, like for instance, it doesn't have to be in um like romantic like attraction to people. It could also be like platonic. Like that would still be a special relationship, right?
Yeah.
That we would try to make. What about like say like you're because I know in my life, like when I meet people, there's certain qualities about them that I'm really attracted to, not romantically. But is that also seeking for a special relationship, even though I'm not actively, even if you just like admire certain qualities? Oh, it is. Okay.
It is, because if you look at the motivation for it, there is a lack there. So what it means is
Uh-huh.
that we don't have what we're attracted to. So we want,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, so that's the
Yeah.
attraction. The attraction implies that, oh, I don't have that I am looking at as an object or a person or, a situation or a country that I want to go live in or whatever. And therefore that's why I'm attracted. That's why I want it. I desire it. And so um, it serves the purpose of supporting the belief that I accomplish the separation and I am a body. So it's protecting the belief that we are all bodies separate from God, because and now we're lacking and incomplete. So anything that has that attraction of trying to get, grab, take, oh, I gotta have that. I just, I can't live without it. The new version of this I don't know, iPhone just came out. I gotta have it, or anything that it can even be like an addiction to a cigarette. I gotta have it. I can't live without it. Or even to money. I gotta go to work. I gotta make money. I mean, anything that we replace, because it becomes like an idol. So we're replacing
Mhm.
God for that, uh, as a form of completion. Um, because we're feeling deficient, basically, in some way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were just reviewing. Remember, we were reviewing the lessons, the workbook for students on. Let's see, what is the body? Section 5. Remember, we were just reviewing that. Um, and yes, so the body is the proof. Okay, is that impermanence is actually reality. So we want to protect, if we want to protect our belief in the ego thought system that says that time and everything in time is impermanent and the body and that that's reality, then we're going to be attracted to guilt because that's what keeps the glue to that belief system in place. Yeah.
Okay,
Because
so like,
otherwise everything falls apart. Impermanence is not reality, it's eternity. Oh, that's the truth. Okay, well, we don't want to see that. We got to protect the denial of the truth and make impermanence reality. That means we make the body life and we protect the body as life. So we're basically, focused on the body for everything, for protecting it, for how it looks, because we've made it into our self-identity. And so it's the holy instant is his most helpful aid in protecting you from the attraction of guilt. Okay. And the attraction of guilt, the real lure in the special relationship. So that's why we would want to be in a special relationship, is because of that attraction to guilt, because it confirms that we are not whole and complete, that we are needy, and that you have what I don't have, that I have to take from you, that I can't live without. Because it's a dependency, it's a needy thing going on. Yeah. And there's a lot of fear, then we go into survival because we really believe that without that, we couldn't survive. So there's, a lot of strong fear and, terror at the thought of none of that being true that can come into it. Um, okay, any other questions there? No? Okay. All right. So paragraph 4. The special relationship is totally meaningless without a body. Okay. So if you value it, you must also value the body, and what you value, you will keep. The special relationship is a device for limiting yourself to a body and for limiting your perception of others to theirs. The great rays would establish the total lack of value of the special relationship if they were seen. For in seeing them, the body would disappear because its value would be lost. And so your whole investment in seeing it would be withdrawn from it. Okay, so the great rays, so that's part of the holy instant. Okay, the great rays means that the recognition of the light within, that is the truth of what we are as God created us, shines, let's see, in the holy relationship, so that there's a recognition that what we are is one spirit that God created, as freedom, light, truth, love. All those mean the same thing. And to get a little glimpse of that means that we are not so, what's the word, so blindsided or so stuck on believing that we're a body, because the body just disappears in that holy instant. Meaning that the awareness of love's presence is what is present rather than a solid, piece of mass as our identity. So, yes, so here the special relationship, requires and demands that we give meaning to being a body and to seeing others as bodies. And the body is the symbol for separation. That's what it stands for. So it means that we embrace the belief in separation, the ego. So to value the special relationship is also to value the body. And what you value, you will keep, okay? Because anything we value, we're going to believe in. And once we believe it, it stays in our mind precisely because we're valuing it. And that's why we keep it. We hold it in our mind. Um, and therefore it has reality for us when it's unreal. It's like a hallucination. Okay. Um, so um, so let's see. So remember that um, the other way to think of forgiveness is to overlook error. Okay. And here, what we're doing is we're holding on to the error by giving it value and believing in it. We make the body seem real because we're holding on to the error of the ego, the belief in separation. And it's a limitation. See, special relationship is a device for limiting yourself to a body and for limiting your perception of others to theirs. So that's what we're protecting basically in this special relationship. Just that the identity with a body, identification with a body. Okay, number 5.
You see the world you value. On this side of the bridge, you see the world of separate bodies seeking to join each other in separate unions and to become one by losing. When two individuals seek to become one, they are trying to decrease their magnitude. Each would deny his power, for the separate union excludes the universe. Far more is left outside than would be taken in, for God is left without and nothing taken in. If one such union were made in perfect faith, the universe would enter into it. Yet the special relationship the ego seeks does not include even one whole individual. The ego wants but part of him and sees only this part and nothing else.
Okay, so this is the way perception works. Okay, we see what we value. Okay, so the world we see is just showing us the beliefs that we hold, because to believe means to value. Okay, that's how we hold something in our mind as a belief, is by giving it value. The minute we let go of valuing it, we no longer believe in it. It's like Santa Claus, you stop believing in it, you no longer value your parents giving you toys, okay? You're not going to believe in it. Okay? Because that's the bondage, that's the that's the attraction to holding on to the belief in Santa Claus. Is, oh, I'm going to get something that I don't have. Okay? It's a special relationship. So So the world is simply, it's a world of perception, and what we see is what we value. That's why the change in our beliefs is a change in the world. Okay, we don't seek to change the world, okay, because it's an effect of the beliefs that we're holding in our mind that are projecting it out for us to see. That's what perception is. So on this side of the bridge, you see the world of separate bodies. Yes. So because that's what we believe we are, that's what we're going to see. Okay. When we come to recognize that we're not a body and that we are, as God created us, one Holy Son of God, mind, okay, then what we are going to see is not with the body's eyes, okay, because we're not going to be identified with the body. It's going to be holy vision with Holy Spirit that sees only innocence and therefore would see the great rays shining from everyone, which is the truth of how God created us. No guilt, all innocent, all holy, all whole, no separation. Okay, so yeah, so when two individuals seek to become one, they are trying to decrease their magnitude. Okay, individuals. So once you see yourself as an individual, okay, you're seeing yourself as a part, separate, apart, and also incomplete. Okay, because otherwise you wouldn't be trying to become one. Okay, so, and in so doing, they're trying to decrease their magnitude by confirming with each other that their bodies, what did we say that was, Sonia? Supporting each other's insanity or something like that.
It's funny because I like that line so much that you said. Hold on, I have it. It's a special relationship is an agreement to validate each other's insanity. That's what you said. I love that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. And that's line number 4. Each would deny his power. Okay. Because to deny our power is insanity. Okay. Because we're using the same power to deny it. Okay. So, so it's not a denial. So for the separate union excludes the universe. Okay. So when you bring everything down to a tiny individual that's a body, you make everything into specific. It's like narrowing your vision to so you have just telescope eyes, so your tunnel vision. Okay. So now you're just seeing things very up close, okay, and you miss the whole universe. Excludes everything else. So far more is left outside than would be taken in. For God is left outside, is left without, and nothing is taken in because we're narrowing. It's all limitation, limitation, limitation. And then, of course, we're terrified because we're this tiny little speck of dust that's a body in this vast universe of stars and galaxies and who knows, aliens and billions of people on the planet. So we've reduced ourselves to basically just a tiny little, virus or an ant or something that is, yeah. Yes. So, and then, if such unions were made in perfect faith, okay, then the universe would enter in it. Yet the special relationship the ego seeks does not include even one whole individual. So perfect faith would be to recognize perfection, which is wholeness, the wholeness of the individual, meaning that the part is not without the wholeness, the spirit that is, that seems to be in time. Okay, but it's not really in time because the wholeness can be seen beyond the little individual body. Yes, so the ego doesn't even want the whole self as we think of in terms of the individual. It just wants a part of him. and sees only this part and nothing else. Yeah, because in the special relationship, our partner is not, that's why we have so many problems with our partners, because um, they have to be a certain way, or otherwise our expectations are not met on how they should be. Because we've narrowed it down to, some specifics of what we want from them, and as an ego. And when they don't meet those expectations, it's like, it's annoying. It's because it's frustrating. We're not getting what we want from them. That's what we came into the relationship for. And now we're not getting it. So we're, pissed off. So, okay. So number 6. I think, whose turn do you think it is? I think I just read. No? I read 4, and then
No, I just read. I think it's
you.
Sonia.
Okay, Sonia, your turn.
Okay. And we're on 6, right?
Yes.
Across the bridge, it is so different. For a time, the body is still seen, but not exclusively, as it is seen here. The little spark that holds the great rays within it is also visible, and this spark cannot be limited long to littleness. Once you have crossed the bridge, the value of the body is so diminished in your sight that you will see no need at all to magnify it. For you will realize that the only value the body has is to enable you to bring your brothers to the bridge with you and to be released together there.
Okay, so yeah, so the value of the body, the purpose changes because the Holy Spirit will use the body as a means of communication, which is, how we bring, this is how you bring your brothers to the bridge with you to be released together there. Because let's see, it's not, the journey is not an individual accomplishment. Spirituality, the journey, let's see, that we undertake, okay, that we seek to find the true self is not an individual one undertaken, because the whole process is the release of the individual identity, so that the bridge, as we start crossing the bridge, we're getting insights now, glimpses into the great race, which is everyone is the same. We all share the same eternal spirit that God created us as. And so there's a oneness there. We're released together. We're not released as an individual. Because the mind is recognizing now that it's not an individual. It was not created an individual. It was not created as a body by God. So it's created whole and complete. And so that wholeness is shared with everyone, with all of life. Okay, number 7. The bridge itself is nothing more than a transition in the perspective of reality. On this side, everything you see is grossly distorted and completely out of perspective. What is little and insignificant is magnified, and what is strong and powerful cut down to littleness. In the transition, there is a period of confusion in which a sense of actual disorientation may occur. But fear it not, for it means only that you have been willing to let go your hold on the distorted frame of reference that seems to hold your world together. This frame of reference is built around the special relationship. Without this illusion, there could be no meaning you would still seek here. Okay, so the bridge is not a physical bridge, okay? It's a metaphor, and it's nothing more than a transition in the perspective of reality. Because remember that we made impermanence reality, and it's the other way around. It's eternity that's reality. So that has to shift, and that's what they mean by the bridge. It's that transition. So on this side, everything you see is grossly distorted and completely out of perspective. So, you know, the idea of having telescopes, okay, as the body's eyes is a way to sort of grasp what this is saying, that what is little and insignificant is magnified, because that's what a telescope would do. You know, if you tried to look at your partner through a telescope, okay, you would be making what is little. Okay, oh, so they have this little scar on their left cheek, and I'm looking at it with this magnifying, magnifier. So that little scar becomes magnified, and now it's like, oh my God, honey, that looks awful. We got to cover that up or something. You see what I'm saying? Their little faults become very magnified. um, and so, and then what is strong and powerful, it's cut down to littleness, because the magnifying glasses cannot see the big picture. Um, and so there's a transition that, is confusing, because, and there can be disorientation in that process, because if you think about it, your whole thought system is having to be turned upside down. But it's not that it's being turned upside down, it's that it was upside down, so now it's being turned right side up. Okay, but we've just gotten used to having it upside down and thinking that that was right side up. That's what we've conditioned ourselves to see. So it, to flip it around can be disorienting. Yes, so it but it means only that you have been willing to let go of that distorted frame of reference. So we are opening our belief system and allowing those beliefs to be corrected. Okay, it means that we're not protecting them anymore. And the frame of reference is built around the special relationship. Yeah, because that's the ego thought system. The ego thought system is built around the special relationship, because the guilt is buried under there, and that's what keeps the whole ego belief in separation stuck held in our mind as true. Without this illusion, there could be no meaning. You would still seek there. So the undoing of the special relationship is a very important step. And, and there's a lot to undo. It's not like we've just conditioned ourselves to operate that way. And now we have to really step back and look at what was previously just unconscious kind of routine programming. And now we're having to look at it and say, wait a minute, that's all upside down. Yeah, so, okay, number 8.
Fear not that you will be abruptly lifted up and hurled into reality. Time is kind, and if you use it on behalf of reality, it will keep gentle pace with you in your transition. The urgency is only in dislodging your mind from its fixed position here. This will not leave you homeless and without a frame of reference. The period of disorientation which precedes the actual transition is far shorter than the time it took to fix your mind so firmly on illusions. Delay will hurt you now more than before, only because you realize it is delay and that escape from pain is really possible. Find hope and comfort rather than despair in this. You could not long find even the illusion of love in any special relationship here. For you are no longer wholly insane, and you would soon recognize the guilt of self-betrayal for what it is.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so this is, reassuring us here that we're not going to be hurled abruptly into reality, into eternity, okay? And the mind, takes its time. um, so that it will keep gentle pace in this transition. So the urgency is only in dislodging your mind from its fixed position here. Yes. So we want to dislodge the mind from its fixed position here only because the Holy Spirit cannot correct the beliefs if we are in a fixed position, meaning we are not willing to have them corrected. So the Holy Spirit cannot work without our willingness. So that's the only thing that we want to dislodge, is we want to offer a little willingness so that we don't stay stuck in that fixed position of, rigid, closed-mindedness. I'm not going to change my beliefs. This is the way I see it, and that's the way it is. And oh, well, yeah, I'm in a lot of pain, but, I believe in crucifixion. So, I believe that suffering is going to, earn me heaven or something like that. So that's a very hard position to dislodge, because they're valuing people that are valuing suffering and pain are not going to be motivated to let them go. And ultimately it's the suffering that, that tells us, okay, okay, forget it. There's too much. I've had enough. I, I want to see it differently. Um, so, yeah, so to let go of this fixed position does not mean we're going to be left homeless and without a frame of reference. Okay. Yes, and so this time of disorientation, okay, it may seem like it's a long time, but it's not going to be anywhere near the length of time that it took us to get to where we were stuck in our fixed position, so firmly stuck on illusions, that we're willing to suffer for them. So yeah, delay will hurt you now more than before, only because you realize it is delay and that escape from pain is really possible. Yeah. So, the people say ignorance is bliss. Well, it's not that it's bliss, it's that it's because you don't realize that it's delay. So it's really just staying in the fixed position and believing that pain and suffering is just the way human nature is. And hey, let's just make the best of it. We're in this together or whatever. So, yeah. So So find hope and comfort rather than despair, because that's what despair is. It's basically saying, yeah, it's hopeless. I'm just, let me just find others like me in a special relationship. Misery is company. Company is misery. Make the best of it. If I'm going to be miserable, I might as well have company. Um, yeah, so you can not long find even the illusion of love in any special relationship here. Yeah, so because then at that point we're no longer so fixated, on those tunnel telescopes, that we can see that we're not going to find any comfort in the special relationship. The illusion of love is not going to give us the comfort that we're seeking. So, for you are no longer holy and sane, and you would soon recognize the guilt of self-betrayal for what it is. Yes. So, so the special relationship is, because it's an attraction to guilt, is a form of self-betrayal, a form of self-betrayal. And it's not real. The relationship is not real. So that's what we recognize. We soon recognize that a special relationship is not really a relationship. It's unreal. Um, and um, and so um, and so the guilt is not real, and so the self-betrayal is not real. So none of that is real. And so we are really free, and we are really as God created us. Um, So that's, ultimately what we want to really, really connect to. So, okay, number 9. Let's see, after Connie, I guess, is it me? My turn? Okay, nothing you seek to strengthen in the special relationship
It's
is really.
actually Sonia's turn.
Okay, go for it, Sonia.
Oh, Mom.
Huh? Go.
9.
Yeah,
Number 9.
9. Uh-huh.
Oh. Nothing you seek to strengthen in the special relationship is really part of you.
Hmm.
And you cannot keep part of the thought system that taught you it was real and understand the thought that knows what you are. You have allowed. Okay, go ahead and read, Mom.
Okay. Okay, nothing you seek to strengthen in the special relationship is really part of you. And you cannot keep part of the thought system that taught you it was real and understand the thought, capital T, that knows what you are. You have allowed the thought, capital T, of your reality to enter your mind. And because you invited it, it will abide with you. Your love for it will not allow you to betray yourself. And you could not enter into a relationship where it could not go with you, for you would not want to be apart from it. Yeah. So remember that the self that seeks a special relationship is really the ego, and it's not really a part of us. That's why it's saying that nothing you seek to strengthen in the special relationship is really a part of you, because that's part of the belief, the ego thought system belief, that says we are incomplete as a body. And that, we need someone else to strengthen or to complete us. So all of those needs are not really a part of us. They're a part of the belief system of the ego that says that we are separate and no longer the way God created us. And you cannot keep part of the thought system that taught you it was real. So the ego thought system cannot be kept just as one part, because it's one thought system. Okay, it's not individual pieces of a thought system. It's also just one thought system. So if we hold on to one part quote unquote part of it, we're holding on to the whole thought system of the ego. And that's why to keep part of it means that we are not going to understand the capital T thought that knows what you are. Okay, it's one or the other. We can't hold on to parts of each. So, and because we allowed the capital T thought of reality to enter on mind, because we invited it, we opened our mind to receive it, we gave that willingness to not hold on and protect our fixed beliefs, it will abide with you because we recognize it's within our mind. So your love for it will not allow you to betray yourself. So no longer will we enter into these special relationships, okay, because it would be a betrayal of what we know is the truth. And you could not enter into a relationship where it could not go with you, for you would not want to be apart from it. So we are changing what we are valuing here as we recognize the truth of what we are. We're giving value to that. And that's what then shifts our whole behavior. Not because we're trying to change our behavior, but because we're changing what we value, which is what we believe, what we give our belief to. Okay. No, okay, you want to do 10, Sonia? Read 10.
Glad you have escaped the mockery of salvation the ego offered you, and look not back with longing on the travesty it made of your relationships. Now no one need suffer, for you have come too far to yield to the illusion of the beauty and holiness of guilt. Only the wholly insane could look on death and suffering, sickness and despair, and see it thus. What guilt has wrought is ugly, fearful, and very dangerous. See no illusion of truth and beauty there. And be you thankful that there is a place where truth and beauty wait for you. Go on to meet them gladly and learn how much awaits you for the simple willingness to give up nothing because it is nothing.
Okay, so the mockery of salvation the ego offered you is the special relationship, right? Which is the attraction to guilt under there. Yeah, and there's no need to look back with longing. Okay, romanticism. Oh, good old days, you know. On the travesty it made of your relationships. Now no one need suffer, for you have come too far to yield to the illusion of beauty and the holiness of guilt. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of drama. That's what the special relationships are. They're just drama, drama, drama. And, you know, we've conditioned ourselves to actually see that as entertaining. So we are making an illusion, and we are racing them to elevation of idol, authority, and God, which then becomes a substitute for beauty and holiness. That's why it says of the beauty and holiness of guilt, is because we've raised them to an altar that is a substitute for the truth of God. So yeah, only the holy and sane could look on death and suffering, sickness and despair, and see it thus, because that's what the body offers. I mean, the identity with the body, that's what it is. It's an experience of, you know, having to die and suffer in the process. And obviously there has to be sickness because it's a denial of truth. So what guilt has wrought is ugly, fearful, and very dangerous. Yes. So, everything that we see in the world that we see as ugly, fearful, and dangerous, in others, in ourselves, that's the effects of the belief in guilt. That's what guilt and fear and sin have manifested for our eyes to see, because that's what we believe in. And it's a world of perception, okay? And that's what's going to be shown to us. But see no illusion of truth and beauty there. Don't be attracted to that, because otherwise, we're gonna stay stuck in time. And be you thankful that there is a place where truth and beauty awaits you. So that's the other side of the bridge. So it's really, crossing the bridge, which is, remember that it's a metaphor for that shift in perception from false perception, illusion, despair, sickness, suffering, impermanence, to eternal love and happiness and joy, and sharing and oneness. Okay, so that's the transition. Go on to meet them gladly and learn how much awaits you for the simple willingness to give up nothing, because it is nothing. That's why it's called a dream. It's called an illusion, because it's a fantasy that is nothing. So you can't give up something that is nothing. That's why there's no loss. Okay. Okay, 11. Do you want to read, Connie?
Yeah, okay. The new perspective you will gain from crossing over will be the understanding of where heaven is. From this side, it seems to be outside and across the bridge. Yet as you cross to join it, it will join with you and become one with you. And you will think in glad astonishment that for all this you gave up nothing. The joy of heaven, which has no limit, is increased with each light that returns to take its rightful place within it. Wait no longer for the love of God and you, and may the holy instant speed you on the way, as it will surely do if you but let it come to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and may the holy instant speed you on the way, as it will surely do. Okay, if you but let it come to you. So that's what it says about miracles, is that miracles save time. So you could think of the holy instant as basically a miracle of love, because it's a recognition of the truth of what we are as God created us, which is holiness, eternal love. Um, not separation. So let's see. And it's just talking about that process of crossing over that bridge. Um, and yeah, so there's no giving up. There's this fear, okay, because from this side of the bridge in time, the new perspective, it seems to be outside and across the bridge. So from the perspective of being in time, then heaven seems to be outside and across the bridge, because we're using the reference point of time, being a body in time. Okay. But as we let go of that identification with a body, the body is really what what's the word? What grounds us in the belief in time. Okay. And as we let go of that identification, then time does not have the meaning that we had given to it anymore. And because it's just a belief. Time is just a belief. There's only an eternal now. Okay. And that's no time. And there's no loss in no time, because time is nothing. It was just a belief too. So as you cross to join it, it will join with you and become one with you. Yes, so you can think of the bridge as the Holy Spirit also, because Holy Spirit is the voice for God. It is that bridge in our mind, okay, that connects us to the truth. And so as we cross this bridge, we're joining with the Holy Spirit that becomes one with us, so that there is no longer a separation between, oh, I got to give this to the Holy Spirit. Okay, well, um, there's no separation there. There's no sense of, I'm not the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is me, is one self, one mind, is part of the oneness. So, yes, yeah. So it's all just oneness here. The bridge and the process is really just one of recognizing that oneness. Okay. Okay, number 12. Sonia?
The Holy Spirit asks only this little help of you. Whenever your thoughts wander to a special relationship which still attracts you, enter with him into a holy instant and there let him release you. He needs only your willingness to share his perspective, to give it to you completely. And your willingness need not be complete because his is perfect. It is his task to atone for your unwillingness by his perfect faith, and it is his faith you share with him there. Out of your recognition of your unwillingness for your release, his perfect willingness is given you. Call upon him, for heaven is at his call, and let him call on heaven for you.
Okay, so you could say that the Holy Spirit is our true will. Um, and so whenever our thoughts wander to a special relationship, that would not be our true will. That would be the ego thought system that's attracted to a special relationship. We want to come back and enter into a holy instant, which is another way of saying come back to that place of stillness, present moment stillness, okay, where we recognize the truth of what we are through the Holy Spirit that releases us from that attraction and giving value to the ego thought system beliefs. Uh, and so he needs only your willingness to share his perspective, okay, to give it to you completely, so that we come back to recognizing the truth of our innocence rather than being attracted to the guilt by believing that we are separate and needy body, ego, individual. Um, yeah. And so we don't need to see, and your willingness need not be complete because his is perfect. So there's still a sense of a split mind there because we seem to have this individual will, okay, that is needy, but yet within we can connect to this uh uh our true will, which is one with God, which is the Holy Spirit. And that's our perfect will that is joined with God. So that's uh, that's the transition over to recognizing the oneness of what we are. Um, yes, it is his task to atone for your unwillingness by his perfect faith. And it is his faith you share with him there. So we're beginning to value what we find in that place of stillness that is the voice for God, Holy Spirit, and recognizing the truth of what and the strength that comes from that, really, and let's see, and the experience of that perfect oneness it is what keeps us let's see, is what keeps us shifting over to the true self-identity and letting go, releasing ourselves from the false ego identity. Um, okay, so anything, Connie, before we finish here?
No, maybe offline.
Okay. Okay. All right.
That's
That's
great.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this was the bridge to the real world. And you know, the bridge is really just another word for the Holy Spirit. So, okay. Let's, well, until next time, thank you. And we'll see you next time. Bye.